All right. 13.1. Simplifying rational expressions. All right. A rational expression is a ratio polynomials whose denominator is not 0. Excluded values, you're going to hear about this, are what determines the rational expression to be undefined. All right. For example, write this down. X minus 6 over x minus 9. And we want to know what the excluded value is for this thing. That means what determines this to be undefined. Okay, and remember the whole idea, we don't want 0 in the denominator. So here's how you solve it. I'm going to take this that's on the bottom. X minus 9 cannot equal 0. Denominator can't equal 0. So we're going to rewrite it like that. Now we do intruder alert. So how do I solve for x, Valeria? Do what? So we're going to add 9 to both sides. And I get x does not equal 9. So the answer is x is 9. Because, now listen carefully, it's undefined when x equals 9. This whole problem is undefined when x equals 9. So write that down, sit back, look at it again, and I'm going to show you, it's going to make sense when I show you my check. Yep. So if we're to check, let's go back, x minus 6 over x minus 9. We're going to replace 9 in the x. We're going to substitute it. So I have 9 minus 6 over 9 minus 9. That gives me 3 over 0. It's undefined because of this 0. You can't have 0 in denominator. So then it checks.
To get it undefined or not?
What they'll say is, what is the excluded value? Excluded meaning x can be any value but this. Okay? So excluded value. If you exclude someone, you're leaving them out. You know what I'm saying? If you exclude Dr. Pepper out of your choices of drinks, you're leaving out Dr. Pepper. So the excluded value means what value can x really not be to be able to solve the problem. So what this is saying is x can be any number, but it can't be 9. So it's undefined. This would be your excluded value. If x is 9, then it's undefined. Does that make sense? So that's what we're looking for, is the excluded value that x cannot possibly be. Does that make more sense? Okay. Make sure you have this written down, and then we'll do another one. Put your pencils down when you're done so I know you're done writing. Okay. Example. Let's do another one. Let's say, and this is another way of doing it. 2x squared plus 3x plus 6 over x squared minus 8x plus 7. And we're going to look for the excluded values. In other words, we got to find what can x be that will make it undefined. What, and it's weird because you want to say, what can x not be, right? That's what we're looking for. What can x not be for this to work? It can be one number. It could be multiple numbers. It can be all kinds of stuff.
Number 1.
Well, let's see. Okay. So we're going to, again, because we know that this cannot equal 0. So we're going to take, again, the denominator, and we're going to rewrite it as not equal to 0. So x squared minus 8x plus 7 does not equal 0. Remember, denominator can't equal 0. Okay. So, unlike the one we just did, where it was like x plus 9 or x minus 9 equals 0 or does not equal 0, this, we can't do that. So, we have to factor it out. And I get x minus 7 and x minus 1. Does everyone see where I got that? If you don't, you need to speak up. Miranda, you got it? Okay. Valeria, you got it?
You don't understand that.
You don't? Which part?
Did you do it but from just that 1-7?
We took the
Oh.
You got it now?
Oh.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So if you did FOIL, you would come up with this. Okay. So now that I have that, I can break it up. Just like I did with the other one. I have x minus 7 does not equal 0. And x minus 1 does not equal 0. I do my intruder alert. X does not equal 7. I do my intruder alert. X
It's not equal 1.
So then the excluded values, the numbers that you cannot use for x, would be 7 and 1. These, it's undefined when you use 7 or 1 as x. Those are your excluded values.
It will be an included value.
Any other x?
Anything but 71.
Any number can be used for x because it will not get you a 0. If I were to replace the x with 7, I'd get a 0. If I were to replace it with 1, I'd get a 0. And in fact, let me show you. We're going to check. 2x squared plus 3x plus 6 over x squared minus 8x plus 7. I'm only going to replace these in the denominator just so that I can see if it works or not. I'm not even going to mess with the numerator because it doesn't matter. It's if the denominator equals 0. So I'm going to start with 7. I'm going to replace each x with 7. Again, I'm not messing with the numerator right now. I mean, you can. It doesn't matter. You know you'll get something. Franz, you better be writing this down. And then I'll let y'all catch up. There we go. It checks. Because can't have, 0. It's undefined. And you can just trust me on the 1, save on time. So that's it in a nutshell. I've got more to show you, but that's what we're looking for. What number or numbers cannot be x in the denominator because therefore it'd be 0, which would be undefined. As soon as you're done copying this down, put your pencils down. Any questions so far? All right. Taking it a step further. Let's do another example. X plus 7. Better write this down. This is going to look weird. I'm trying to show you all the possibilities of how to solve these things. Okay, we're going to do like we did before. We're going to take the denominator and have it not set it to not equal 0. X squared plus 3x minus 9 does not equal 0. Because no zero in denominator. And we're looking for the excluded values. Okay, well, this one is a little different. It's not a cute little, x plus 7 down there that we can just have not equal to 0. And question, can we factor this out like the last one? No. Therefore, we do the quadratic formula because it can't be factored. So your choices are factoring, which you hope works because then you just have it all, not equal to 0. But now we've got to do the quadratic formula. Okay, so A, B, and C. -3 plus or minus square root of 3 squared minus 4 times 1 times -9. All over 2 times 1. I'm going to let y'all write that down. I have solved by quadratic formula. I'll pause to let y'all write this down. I know it's May, but I'm very serious. If y'all don't have this down and you ask me for help, I'm going to ask for your notes. If you do not have everything written down, I do not help. I'm tired too. All right. So x does not equal, and we can start solving it. And keep going. -3 plus minus square root of 45. But we're not done yet. What do I need to do to the square root of 45? Factor it. Very good. You can do your little factor tree. 5 and 9. 3 and 3. So I have -3 plus minus 3 times square root of 5 over 2. Is there any more that I can do to this? No. Therefore, my answer is x basically equals -3 plus minus 3 times square root of 5 over 2. This right here is your excluded value.
What about the top and
The top, this right here, it doesn't matter. We don't even need to look at it really. Because all we're doing is trying to find what if we, now I'm not going to check this, just so you know, I'm not going to take this whole thing and replace these x's with it. I'm not doing it. Just going to have to trust me on that. That if we were to insert this for each of these x's and solve that, it would come out to be 0, which would be undefined. Just trust me on that. Okay? I'd check the easier ones. This one, I would throw caution to the wind and say, you know what? I'm going to bet that that's okay. Any questions? So you could have a nice little one. Oh, where did my notes go? You could have a nice little one like this. Oh yeah, isn't that nice and pretty? Just put this, not equal to 0, and solve. That's easy. You could have one where all you have to do is factor. That's not bad. Or you could have one that ends up like this. If you cannot factor it, then, like before, then you got to do the quadratic formula. Any questions? I'm not done yet. Now we talk about simplifying. All of that was just on how to find the excluded value. Now we're going to talk about simplifying. This isn't bad. All right. Let's say I want to simplify this.
That's 3, right?
Yes, that's a 3. Anyone want to guess? New. Okay.
And then eliminate it.
What number does 4 and 8 have in common? And so these would be reduced to what? 1 over 2. And then the A3 over A, how would I simplify that?
2 minus 1.
Remember the exponents that we did? If they're dividing, what do we, and the bases are the same, we subtract. So then I have 1 over 2 A squared.
And that'll be your answer.
There's your answer. Or you can just say A squared over 2. They're both the same because of that 1. Now see, that's not bad. I even asked Allie, I said, are you sure we should even waste our time going over this? She goes, yes, your students will thank me. And I said, maybe we should get into the more serious stuff. She goes, no, just start with this and then do the others. Any questions about that so far? All right, let's do another. Write these down or no help will be given. Sophia, what number can go into 180 and 27?
3.
Is there a bigger one? Damn, this is her problem.
9.
Okay, so we can divide both numbers by 9. 180 divided by 9 is 20. 27 divided by 9 is 3. Now we do like we did before with the m's and the n's. I have m3 minus 1 and n1 minus 2. That gives me 20 over 3, m2 and n negative 1. Oh no, Franz, can I have a negative 1?
No, you cannot.
What can I do to make it positive?
Move it to the denominator. Make it
Very
Make
good.
it the denominator. And it will be positive.
Perfect. And there's my answer. Write this down. Sit back, take it in, see if you have any questions. This part's kind of like a review.
Partially.
I'm going to give you 3 more examples and then we're going to jump in the book. Put your pencils down when you're done. Miranda, you done? Put your pencil down. Okay, thank you. All right. Example. Here's another one. Write it down. Write it down, Franz. All right. Let's say we have that. Franz, write it down. Miranda, what can I do? Is there anything I can cancel out or a 3, right? Can these two cancel out?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm left with,
X minus 1.
thank you, Miranda. And there's my answer. There's nothing else I can do. Oh, me
Oh.
too. Any questions on that? Let's do another. By the time I'm done with these, you're gonna be able to do them in your sleep. I
I'm
know
pretty
y'all
sure
hear my voice in your sleep.
No, I don't. I
What
dream
was
of
the thing?
absolutely nothing. I'm just a
Okay.
blank box.
Shh. Valeria, is there anything I can cancel out? Black box.
Blank box.
Blank box?
Like there's nothing.
Your head?
I just dream of nothing.
Really? Maybe you sleep that
Did you
good.
call me stupid?
No, I didn't. He said his head is a blank box. I'm just checking to make sure I heard him correctly. And I literally followed up with, I think you're just sleeping really hard. Has nothing to do with a blank box. You're just sleeping very hard, Franz. You do not have a blank box. Okay. Valeria, is there anything I can cancel out? Yeah, because they're the same things, right? Right? Yes, Miss Rogers, they're both the same, so we can cancel them. So all you're left with is 4, and there's your answer.
Well.
Yep, and we can cancel out. Isn't it nice? All right, let's do another. 3x plus 6 over 3. Sophia, what can I do here? Okay, she's right. We're going to divide these right here by 3 and this by 3. So 3 divided by 3 is what, Sophia? So we have 1x plus what? There you go. Or we can just say x plus 2. Any questions? Oh, Chap has a question.
If you didn't have the 6 there and you had like a 2 there, could you still do the 3?
You can, but then this would stay the same, if I'm not mistaken. Watch me be wrong. I will, huh?
Remember the.
Oh, yeah, it has to work on both. Mm.
Because you have to separate them out like 3 over 3.
Yep, you're right. You're right. It'd be like 3 over 3. It's okay.
I remember now.
We'll cross that bridge. Thank you. All right. Page 535. Examples. Here we go. Open your book. Looking around, making sure everyone's on the right page. You know what's depressing? Y'all seen my big binders of notes, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, we're at the end. We've gone through that whole binder. What's depressing is the beginning of the year when I turn to page 1. And I have that whole binder to go through. It's so depressing. You don't get what I just said? Speaking of blank boxes, I'm just kidding.
So we're not calling Franz stupid, but we are calling you stupid.
No, you just don't get it. Okay, I'll give you a visual as soon as I'm done teaching this. I'll bring up my binder and explain it to you.
I'm kidding.
You're calling me stupid now.
What? Whoa,
Okay.
pause. No.
All right, Morgan's gonna miss us. Okay, number 1, we're starting at the very basic. 3x plus 4 divided by x. Okay. Now remember, the directions state. Okay, Chap, why don't you read the directions?
Okay. State any excluded values for each fractional expression.
Okay, so what are we simplifying here, boys and girls? No, we're just, stop, Franz, I'm not kidding. We're looking for excluded values. That's the beginning of what we talked about today. We're looking for what can x not be. All right, so Franz, can there be a 0 in the denominator?
No.
No. So how do we figure out what x can't be?
You put it as x can equal to 0.
X can't equal to 0. So what can X not be?
0.
That's right. X cannot be 0. If I
That's your
put
answer.
0 here, then it's wrong because it's undefined.
Exactly.
Chat.
So here's my question.
All right, ask Franz.
Okay, hey Franz. So why do you change the sign?
Because X cannot equal, okay,
So why don't you just box that?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's the same thing though. It's saying the same thing.
But
Let's
if
just
X
go.
equals 0,
X
then it's
does not
undefined.
equal 0
so
because
it's asking you for the
So
excluded
X in
value.
this case
so
is the
it's saying-
excluded value. Excluded
0
value
is the
equals
excluded
0.
value,
But
yes.
X does not equal
So
0.
they
It's
just
not
changed the X.
So
Yeah.
think, okay,
Equals- it
think,
equals
think
the
about it for a
excluded
second,
value.
right? The equal sign means like that X is.
Uh-huh.
this,
So-
but it's asking for the excluded value.
Thank
so
you.
X
See,
is-
you're not a blank box.
Does not
You're so
I'm the
smart.
blank- I'm the
No,
blank
no one's
box.
blank boxes in here.
Yes.
So what this is saying is if X is 0, then it will not work. It's undefined. So the excluded value is, listen, the excluded value for this problem is when X equals 0. When X equals 0, it is undefined.
I think it just changes what X means. X in this case means excluded value.
Yes.
So excluded value equals 0.
Okay, let's move on to 3 so y'all can get started. A plus 7 over A plus 2. Franz, look at my face. Stop. All right. We cannot have 0 in the denominator. So, Miranda, I'll let you work this one out. How do I figure out what A will equal if we're going to have an undefined problem? Okay, so we're going to subtract 2. And I'm not concerned about whether you have this or this. You need to just understand the idea behind it and tell me what the excluded values are. If you were just on your paper write O and then box that in, I'm fine. And in this case, A does not equal -2, which means the excluded value is when A equals -2, it is undefined. We can go back in again and check. A plus 7 over -2 plus 2, that would give us, and I'm not doing the numerator because it doesn't matter, we're only looking at the denominator. Oh look, there's a 0. It's undefined. So the excluded value is -2. Again, Miranda, if these equals and not equals is, if you, okay, let me explain. If you understand, we're trying to find what X or A or whatever cannot be. If you understand that, don't worry about this. Just say it can't be -2. You're correct. Does that make sense? If this is throwing you off, then don't worry about it. That's overanalyzing. All of you understand we're looking for what it can't be because then it'll be undefined, right? That A can be any number but -2. If you get that, you're good. Don't waste your time on this stuff. Okay, let's look at number 5. X squared plus 3x minus 2 over x squared plus 5x minus 24. Okay, Valeria, we're doing the denominator. So what do I write it out to be, to look like? What? Oh, yeah. Okay, I wasn't sure. You're correct. We're just messing with the denominator. Okay, Valeria, this isn't as pretty as this one over here. So what do I do now? Let's try something else first. What can we try first before quadratic? Factoring. Try factoring first because that is way easier than the quadratic formula. But if this makes you crazy, then by all means do the quadratic formula. And for the sake of time, I'm going to help you out, Valeria. This is x minus 8 times x plus 3. If these, trying to figure that out makes crazy, don't worry about it. Now what do I do with each of these parentheses, Valeria? And have them, or not equal to 0, whichever. And then I do intruder alert, and what does this become? Very good. So for the sake of those that don't get the equal and not equal, we can just say 8 and negative 3. Yes?
Yeah, that's what I got.
Ooh, yes, thank you. That's on me, man. Okay, so there we go. This would be their negative. This would be negative. So this would be positive. Thank you. Negative 8, positive 3. Is that correct now? Yes. So that'll give you negative 24, and the greater has got to be positive. There you go. Thank you very much. Are we getting this? Y'all are getting it. Y'all are correcting the teacher, so that means you're getting it. All right, I got a couple more, and then we're going to simplify. Everyone have this? All right, let's go. Number 9. I think we are simplifying already. Yep, number 9 is simplifying. Okay, so now, and it says leave each answer in factored form. So 9 through, put your hand down, call other people. 9 through 16, you're just simplifying. So I have 3x squared over 15x. Ariel.
It would be 1 over 5x.
Okay, let's talk it through. X squared minus 1, right?
Yeah.
Which gives you
X. Just 1.
perfect. Or you can say x over 5. So either one of these. Any questions? All right. 13. 6x minus 6 over 6. Keith.
Just X.
You're close.
X minus 1 out.
Very good. X minus 1. Because that's basically 1. Because 6 divided by 6 is 1. Negative 6 divided by 6 is also 1. So it's basically x minus 1. You could even say 1x minus 1. Any questions? All right, let's look at 15. All right, I have 4a squared plus 2a over 2a. Chat.
You can simplify both. So, yeah, and then the 2a will cancel out. And so you will get 2a plus.
This is 2, and this would be 2 divided by 2 is 1, right?
Yes.
Okay, don't say cancel out yet. So I have 2. This would be a 2 minus 1, right?
Right.
Plus, this would be 1, a 1 minus 1, right? Correct?
Yes.
Okay, then this becomes 2a, just 2a, correct?
Yes.
What does 1 minus 1 be?
0.
And then what does a to the 0 power give you?
1.
How did you get the 1 minus 4?
Right here. A,
Oh,
that'd be 1 minus 1. And remember, this would then be a to the 0, which is 1. And 1 times 1 is 1. Any questions? All right, 17 says simplify, leaving each answer in factored form. State any excluded values. All right. Franz, I'm going to get to you. New. X squared minus 4x minus 45 over x squared minus 10x plus 9. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is simplify it. So we need to factor top and bottom.
Okay.
This is a news problem. So we're going to factor, unless we couldn't factor and would have to do quadratic formula. See, this is going to be fun. So what do I put in here? X minus 9 and x plus 5. Very good. What about down here?
yeah, negative 9 and negative.
X minus 9 and x minus 1. Okay, new. Once you write that down, tell me what I can cancel out.
X minus 9.
I can cancel those out. So I'm left with x plus 5 over x minus 1. This is one of your answers. It's simplified. So the first step was to simplify each problem. She just simplified it. Now we have to do excluded values. So
Take the denominator. Not equal to 3.
we're going to take this denominator, not the simplified one. We're going to take that denominator, and we're going to find the excluded values. So we have x minus 9 times x minus 1 does not equal 0. Now, does everyone see what I'm doing, where I got that? We're taking the denominator. You could take this, but you're going to end up with this anyway, right? Right? Okay. So now what do I do, new? Separate them out. X minus 9 does not equal 0. X minus 1 does not equal 0. And we end up getting
Not equal.
an x. So then my answer is 9 and 1. So that's my excluded values. So we have 2 answers. Any questions about that? No questions? All right, let's do some more. When you're done writing this down, put your pencils down. $19. I have x squared minus y squared over x plus y. Franz, you want to try to simplify this? Yea or nay?
4.
All right.
I'll try.
The bottom seems to be quite simplified. So what do I need to do the top?
Divide. Factors.
Very good, factor. So what do I put?
X. And then. Minus. Plus X.
Plus y and x
Minus Y.
minus y. There you go. Y'all can't see that in the back. That's x plus y times x minus y over x plus y. Y'all see that? Okay, so Franz, is there anything I can cancel out?
The from the bottom x plus y and the top x plus y.
There you go. So then
X minus y will be one of your answers.
that's right. X minus y is one of my answers, and it's now simplified. So now we have to figure out the excluded values. So what's my denominator?
X plus y.
That's right. So we do x plus y does not equal what?
0.
All right, so I'm looking for my excluded values.
So then just
So x does not equal what?
minus y.
Negative y. So then what can x not be?
Y. Negative y.
That's right. X cannot be negative y.
And that's the other answer.
Any questions?
Actually, no.
I got one more for you.
Yeah.
I won't start till everyone has their pencils down. I know, Franz.
Is it also have time?
And when everyone has their pencils down. All right, 21. Y'all better write this down. 3x squared plus 3xy over x squared minus y squared. Who wants to tackle that one? You've already had a chance. Anyone that hadn't had a chance? Ariel, you haven't had many chances today. You want to try it?
Yeah, sure.
All right. First, take out what they have in common.
So you can take out the x's and the y.
Up here.
Oh,
Because we got to simplify it. So what do they have? What do each of these have in common?
3
And
x.
that's right. So we can take out the 3x. What am I left with?
You're left with x,
X plus,
plus y.
yeah. Okay, what do I need to do about this bottom though? Similar to what Franz did.
You can refactor it.
That's right. We're going to factor it. Good job. So what should this be?
X plus y, and then x minus y.
Okay. So now what can I cancel out?
You can cancel out one of the x plus y's.
Both of them, right?
Yeah.
And I'm left with 3x over x minus y. And that is simplified as far as it can go. So there's one of your answers. Now we need to find the excluded value. So what am I going to write?
You're gonna write x minus y does not equal.
Well, go back to our original.
Oh yeah.
To find the excluded values, we have to go back to the original. So I have x
Plus y. And x minus y.
That's right. Make sure you go back to your originals. So then what do I do?
And then you do x plus y does not equal 0. And then x minus y does not equal 0.
And then
And then after that you
x does not equal what?
negative y,
And x does not equal,
positive y.
whoops, positive y. That's a messed up thing there. So then your answer is x cannot be positive or negative y. Are you joking? There's my 2 answers. Any questions? Okay, so today we took notes. Tomorrow I will assign the work. So you have no homework for tonight. Okay?
Can we have our test, our science test?
Shh. Let me finish this.